It's Talk Funny, a podcast by Mark Bailey and other comics from all over. We ended up in Japan because we want to see what drinking soup looks like. The Talk Funny podcast from Nagoyaradio.com and Nagoyacomedy. Here's Mark Bailey.
Welcome back to another edition of Talk Funny, brought to you by Nagoyacomedy.com and Facebook page Nagoya Comedy. I'm Mark Bailey. We're here again with Tim Lennane.
Hi.
And Tim, do you remember your advice? You had a little bit more advice for open micers.
Yeah, open micers, don't get too trashed before you go on.
Yeah, and because comics never drink.
Yeah,
so
no,
it's
they
really
never.
not professional.
No need to loosen up that much, but you want to be a little tense. You want to be up, but you don't want to be like
You don't want to be incoherent. That's why it's also important to know when you're going on.
Yeah.
Because if you want to get trash-faced, as we would say in a clean show, and you're going on second, go on second and get trash-faced, but not before you go on.
And like comics don't drink too much. Yeah, I've had some bad experiences when I've gone up there pretty much too trashed, and like you can't remember jokes. You know, you had a plan, and then suddenly it's going really sideways because you're just too wasted. The whole point is that when you go up and you're inebriated and you're trying to remember your set, or you have 5 or 6 jokes that you're going to do, and then you get through the first one, and then you're like, yeah, where was I? And this is funny, and everybody's like looking at you. He's wasted. You're drunk, and that's not that funny.
Have you ever seen a show like that?
Yeah, I've been a part of that too, and I guess the audience doesn't really appreciate that too much. I mean, if you get through it and you're funny, it's funny, but also you think your jokes are funnier than they are.
Well, here's another thing that an MC should never do, and this is what happened at the Coat of Arms, the first show. The MC got up and said, all of us have been drinking so much we can barely remember our sets, so let's get the show started. Don't ever say that.
Don't denigrate your show.
Yeah, don't do that. And also, it's like, funny thing happened to me on the way to, I'm going to tell you a joke. We know you're going to tell us a joke. Just get to the meat. We know you're going to tell us a joke. We assume you're a comedian, It's like Jimmy Page doesn't get up there and go, I'm a guitarist and I wrote this tune and I just want to play this for you guys and see. 'Cause we know who Jimmy Page is.
However, this is also stands for the idea that, self-deprecating humor is, of course, all right. But it's like, I'm not so sure this is going to work. Or, you can kind of do that a little bit. But the idea is don't denigrate your work and don't denigrate other people's work. Don't say, don't point out other bad jokes or something that happened that before you, because that is kind of sniping on other comics.
Yeah, that's a big no-no. We had an episode one time where the guy would come up and, like, maybe sometimes our premises are going to be close. We're all married, miserable guys
a lot of us
in the same city.
Fight white guys. Well, fight white guys? Yeah.
Fight white guys. Fat white guys. In the same city, we're going to have similar premises, but our take on it and our comic voice is going to be all different.
Yes.
So we're not stealing a premise. We all have the same premise, but a punchline is ours. The punchline belongs to us.
Yes.
And we don't steal punchlines, but we had an episode where a guy would go, hey, so Mark, you had a joke about this, so here's a joke about this. Boom, right back at you. And I said, it's not a joke battle. You don't talk to the comics. Talk to the audience.
Yes,
they paid for the ticket.
Right.
We didn't pay for a ticket. Talk to the audience. They're there to see you. They could care less what you think of Mark's jokes. They've already forgotten those.
Right.
They're listening to yours now. Steve did something about Bigfoot, so I got some. Who's Steve? You're on stage now. You are the only comic right now.
That's right.
Right? You talk to the audience, get off.
Though it gets kind of insular because we are a group and we do talk about our jokes to each other.
Yeah.
And you're right. We do have similar themes. We do have very distinctive voices.
But sometimes we write, occasionally you've written a couple of punchlines for me, and that's fine to call somebody out. I mean, not call them out, but say, I do the joke, and then I go, that was a good punchline. By the way, that was Tim's.
Yeah, and actually, you've done it for me, too.
Yeah.
Especially for my McDonald's routine.
But the best thing is to do the joke, and then
go,
if it gets a laugh, say, that was mine.
Thank you, the other guy. Thank you for that punchline.
Yeah. And so that's okay, but to just get up and talk to the comics, it's kind of rude to the audience. Yeah. One more thing about the open mic is another reason I don't like to have it at the end. We had one at GC one time where we did it at the end, and one of the guys, the open mic guys, was so drunk he fell asleep at the mic. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes.
And his name is Mike, by the way, but he fell asleep at the mic. It's not the guys in our group. This is an open mic guy. And he fell asleep at the mic, so I had to go up and go, okay, I guess that's closer. That's a real sleeper.
Real snooze.
We got a real sleeper comic on our hands. One other thing I wanted to...
narcoleptic, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe. One other thing I wanted to mention is something I have called wife math.
Oh, yes.
And you will recognize it when I describe it to you. Wife math is... You remember the show we did a few months ago when we all went to Osaka for New Year's Eve? You remember that show?
I do remember that, yeah.
And so I told the wife about a week or 6 days, a little bit giddy, a little bit too last minute notice, but 6 days before, right? When you do that, it doesn't matter the notice. Okay, so let's say you're going to Toyohashi. You tell the wife, I'm going to Toyohashi. I don't know when I'm going to get back because I don't know how long it takes to get there and get back.
Right.
I don't know the train we're on. And I'll try to be back by midnight, but if I'm after that, I'll get a taxi and I'll be home sometime tonight. So the wife math is when you come back from Toyohashi at 1 a.m., That's in the book now. You can never come back from Toyohashi later than 1 a.m., otherwise you're screwing around.
Right.
Well, you come back from Toyohashi at 1:10 a.m., you're late. But 1 a.m. is late. No, you're supposed to be back by 1 because that's how long it takes. Is it okay if I pee first? I peed before I get on the train. Now, you're screwing around. It's an extra 10 minutes. Hey, baby, it only takes me 2 minutes to screw around. Well, I screw around 5 times. So, wife math, this is what it was with the Osaka thing. So, we were with some people in Osaka for New Year's Eve, and then in the morning, I said, I got to be back as soon as I can, because at about 12:30 at night, I got a text from the wife. Are we finished yet with the show? I said, it's an all-you-can drink. We're going to be here for a while.
Yeah, all you can drink, yes.
I think I might make it back by noon tomorrow, because our designated driver is drunk. We're going to probably set sail around 6 a.m. or something.
That makes sense. Yeah,
right?
The bars close around 3 or 4.
Right.
2 hours of sobriety, sure.
Some friends I had in Nagoya said, when you get back in the morning, New Year's Eve, we're all going down to Nagoyacomedy Spyland. And I said, well, not before I check in, because the clock is running, right? Remember, you went to Osaka and you were gone for 8 days? You can't do that. So it's like, that's acceptable if I get in around noon. So what I did is I said, get in as early as possible. So I got home like 10:50 a.m. All right, that's in the book. Now, that's in the book, so the timer stops.
Uh-huh.
Then I left again. And I said, so, no, but that game's finished. That race, I was gone for 18 and a half hours, whatever. But if I had not, it's like a relay race. If I had not touched base at home and gone directly to Nagoyacomedy Spyland, that adds on to the time that I've been gone. See what I mean?
Yes.
So then now that's going to be, you've been gone for 3 days or 2 days, whatever.
3 days, yeah.
So you have to pop in. I popped in. I was in the house for 14 seconds, basically. Dropped my bags, got a different bag. Wife started giving me some attitude. I said, hey, is there fried chicken for tonight? And she goes, yeah, why? Just asking. Anyway, all right, see ya. I'm going to the office. So then I left, and then I went on another excursion, and I came back that night. Had I done both excursions in one fell swoop, which you could do if you're a bachelor,
yes,
you can't do if you're married because the clock is running. That's what I call wife math.
Yeah, you have to check in.
Yeah. Now, the wife will remember that you were gone for a day and a half. It's coming up. She's going to find a reason to be gone for a day and a half because you got to do it.
Yeah.
It's like kids. It's like, why does he get to skips ice cream? So that's wife math. Do you have that?
It's tit for tat.
Yeah.
Actually, no.
It's tit for no tit.
It's tit for no tit. My thing is this, that I send proof of life photos.
Oh, yeah.
Proof of life, because, I'm really out doing what I'm supposed to be doing. But, what the wife doesn't know, and she doesn't listen to this podcast, I'm sure, is that I take those pictures beforehand. I store them up, It's like, oh, I'm out, working on my screenplays and stuff like this with my buddies, or, I'm doing, podcasts like this, I'll take a couple pictures of this so I can use it, for later.
Well, that's what I did too. You'll notice when we do shows, we don't have a big banner that says, GC Live November 17th, because it's generic stock footage. And I had that ready. Yeah, those were actually Gifu pictures.
Which reminds me, I can take a picture right now, actually.
Oh, okay.
Pictures, yes. Proof of life pictures. Here we go. Unfortunately, anyway. The wife math for me is very much like you. I have to be there. I have to be in. I have to show up and prove that I've come home before going back out.
Yeah. Otherwise, if you were a bachelor.
Yeah, if it's a bachelor, I just do it all in one fell swoop.
Yeah.
I just want all at once. And the old I took my pictures there, by the way. So now I'm proving
that's
I'm
what the pause
podcasting.
was.
And the thing is that. She knows, of course, if I'm in a bar, all right, okay, I'm in a bar, she knows I'm out drinking. And she goes, when are you going to be home? And I go, I'll be home in 20 minutes. She knows that's going to be at 4 a.m.
Yeah.
It's 12 o'clock. When are you coming home soon? Yeah, 20 minutes, honey, 20 minutes. That's, 4 hours later.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Well, it's hard. When you're out with friends, it's really hard to predict, when you're going to leave. If I left now, I wouldn't be home in 20 minins. And you're not leaving now.
Yeah.
So if you say 20 minutes, you should be on the train. That's 20 minutes, right?
Well, I mean,
there's walking.
You had mentioned the truth in the comic timing, and this is not wife timing now, but the comic timing is like when we were out in Gifu or out in Osaka and hitting that last train. I mean, you have to get to that last train, and I tell you, I swear to God, I've had heart attacks trying to get to that train.
It's a hustle. It's really bad.
I'm 53, and and I'm already drunk and having had a good time. Having to run like a half a mile is not so easy on the heart, and I come slamming onto the train, start puking all over right as soon as I get in there. It's not such a good deal. And then, of course, people are like, hey, you want to drink some more? No, I don't. But.
Yeah, and that's the thing. But there's also a stage, famous comic now, and Larry Miller does a thing similar to this. He does like the 12 stages of drinking. but there's one, basically this is his bit. But he'll say, first when you're out and you're having fun, and he's like, the third stage of drinking is the waitress is the most beautiful girl you've ever seen in your life. And, he goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Fifth stage is like, I know my boss expects me in the office tomorrow at 8 a.m., but I'm with my friends and I'll do what I want. Friendship is more important. Then stage 10 is like, you all decided you're going to buy your own bar together. We're just going to buy a bar together. And I don't even need my boss, And then stage 12 is in the morning when you open the door and the sun shining on your face, and the sun knows. It's in your face. You just got lines, you got bags in your eyes.
God.
But what I was alluding to is there's a part where you talk to the wife like, okay, honey, all right, so, I probably a couple of hours. I mean, I'm going to try to catch the train. I really want to because I don't want to pay for a taxi. And I will try to catch the train, but I'm also trying to have a good time.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to be talking to you. You're not going to be texting you the whole time because I want to have a good time. So, and then the third time, and she's like, which is it? Are you going to be home by midnight or 1 a.m.? Which one? And then I start to think, I'm with my friends. There's no time limit on friendship. I'm having a good time. I'm a comedian. I deserve more respect. And then out of spite, I come home at 2 a.m., which cost me a 5,000 yen taxi bill.
Yeah.
But I won. Yay. I won the argument.
And of course, there will be some revenge at some point.
Yeah.
There'll be like revenge, like where you have to stay home and deal with stuff. And
it's not worth it.
Well, mostly I get the silent treatment, which I really do appreciate.
Yeah.
Because, but that after the first day of hangover, the silent treatment starts to wear, a little bit thin, when it goes on for a week or two.
Here's another thing that you need to do, probably because of wife meth. 2 days, a day before you have a night out with the boys, keep complaining about your phone. How many times I have to? Is your phone working okay? Because I'm gonna have to keep.
I got this Apple battery thing going on.
I took the battery out of the Apple, baby, and I put it back in, and it still doesn't work.
It keeps
By the way,
apart.
Please don't try this at home. Please don't try to take the battery out of your Apple. And so you just complain like, I don't know. It's like I'm constantly recharging. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, by the way, so I'm gonna go out with some guys tomorrow night. You text me whatever, and then so she's texting you. It's like you text like in broken English, like can't TXT S thing wrong. Tin, and then you turn the phone off.
Yeah, battery waiting. Thumbs broken.
I'm on 3% power. How much power is left for me to turn the phone off? I forget. It's the darndest of luck. I forgot the charger.
Oh,
when I was going out with the guys. Otherwise, I could have contacted you. I told you my phone was not working well.
It's not the smartphone. It's the ball and chain phone.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you keep it on. They know that you have it on you.
Yeah.
You have it on you, so you're contactable at any point, at any time.
Also, guys, turn off your location service. Show your location. No, thank you. He's in a brothel in South Osaka. No, thank you.
They do a location check on your iPhone.
Oh, here's one. This is a public service announcement. I ask students this all the time and fellow gaijin, and they do not seem to be aware of this. I don't know about Android, but with an iPhone, you have a setting. You have an iPhone?
Yes, I do.
You have a setting. Privacy. You need to check that regularly because if you upload onto Facebook or Line or some other service a photo, if you upload it, other people can see your photos. Like your significant other can see your photos if you're on photo sharing.
Yes.
You know that, right? So you don't want that on all the time. You only want that on when you're uploading a photo. 5 seconds, it's uploaded, change it back. Because I met an ex-girlfriend a long time ago, just in a shopping center, nothing nefarious. Took a picture, and I looked pretty happy. And go home, and my wife's like, "Who's that?" I'm like, "Who's what? How did you get that photo?"
Ooh.
Right? So privacy, settings, privacy, and then it says photo. Also, location services. You want that off. Then you go to photos.
I'm doing this right now.
Yeah, and you can see I've only got this cacao on because my wife's not on that line. But there's Line. That's the dangerous one. Line will share your photos if you're not. Photos on your phone.
I know that. The photos on your phone, you have to be hooked to the cloud.
No, for Line, they have access to the photos on your phone. Because
I never
upload.
Line does, yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I never upload anything to the cloud.
Okay.
But photos on your phone can be seen in Line if you have this on. That's on.
Oh, yeah, it's not on for me, yeah. But I understand.
I ask, people, and they look at it and it's like, oh, my goodness, my Line is on. It's on.
Nothing. I got nothing on.
I know a guy whose wife.
Let me turn that off. Here you go.
And if wives know this, they can actually, when you're in the shower, they just go into your settings and turn your Line thing on, and then they're basically bugging your phone.
Well, actually, the really interesting point that you're making, me and my wife really respect our iPhones a lot, the smartphones that we have. I do not look into her phone, and she does not look into mine. It's that simple.
As far as I know, it's the same arrangement, but...
Because I don't want to know. frankly, I just don't want to know. I mean, she's on that phone all the time. I don't want to know.
And so we have a couple of other topics, but we might want to close this up for this episode. And this is